All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right. A little bit tired after the Super Bowl last night.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you and many of us as well. So good morning, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great Super Bowl weekend. Hope you had a great month as well as we begin this brand new month of February. Hopefully, you guys did well last month. We can, if you didn't, we have another month to be able to get more into this amazing career. So, with that said, guys, let's run you through our rundown. If you're here for the first time, usually we'll go over the top plays and highlights from the day before. Obviously, today we don't have any because we don't really review Friday's plays. We'll go over any information on the SPY. Normal give us kind of like a market pulse of what's going on, any major news announcements that could affect the way the market and the SPY plays out today or the rest of the week. And also, we'll get into our gappers list here. We'll go over this, which you have quite a few for a Monday. It's not a bad start, Norm. I mean, I see a lot on here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would have Tesla up before I jumped on the mic. You can see Tesla's just incredible this morning already. And we got a few more names here that look very good. LK has been trading exceptionally well. Roku's back on the map here, so looking forward to that. PCG's been on this list, but not the greatest trading stock last week. And then we'll go over our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers. And then we'll get into some announcements of our community, and then we'll start doing some levels of support and resistance, kind of fine tune our list. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Thank you for being here on YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoy the show. Norm, as far as the SPY this morning and the news, what we have going on today?
Yeah, so we've actually got a pretty big gap up here, right at 0.7%, which is a good gap for the SPY, especially this time of day. Many of us, you, myself included, are pretty active on Twitter and the
Yep.
FinTwit community. And man, I swear all weekend people were acting like it was going to be Armageddon when futures opened on Sunday night at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And I looked down and it was actually they were up about 0.5%. So I think we're bouncing back a little bit from this fear from the coronavirus issues. We'll get into that. A lot of the plays on here are from coronavirus stuff. Not all of them, but a chunk of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about those in a minute. On Friday also we had consumer sentiment that came out a little bit higher than expected, which was positive. Consumer spending is what's keeping this economy afloat, as manufacturing's been relatively stagnant in the U.S. So that's what's going on right now. Today, we've got manufacturing PMI coming out at 945, construction spending at 10, ISM manufacturing index at 10. And then, of course, it's the beginning of the month, so we'll start getting some motor vehicle sales info from the car manufacturers scattered throughout the day.
Excellent. Thank you, Norm. So again, looking forward to it. I think we have a good week ahead of us, and obviously this gappers list is starting us pretty nice so far. So let's get into it. Since I have Tesla already up here, let's
And
just
one thing,
yeah, go
one
ahead.
sorry, my son just walked in here too. So if you hear a little background noise, a little Paw Patrol action, that's what you got. Um, So anyway, I feel like that guy in that viral video that was live on TV talking about like Korean War and his kid walks in and the wife is pulling him out of the room. That's what just happened to me. Anyway, so one thing I was gonna say here, and I completely lost my train of thought. And I think it was, yeah, Jared mentioned the China central banks infusing money into their system. So the Chinese markets were closed for the new year, and then the Shanghai was extended a little bit longer before it was open. It did finally open, and the thing gapped down nearly 8%, closed 8% down almost, in their first day of trade since the holiday. So it's to be expected. I mean, they crashed, but they're catching up for the little bit of a downtrend that everybody else has been in since we've been closed. So anyway,
Gotcha. Thanks for that, Norm. So yeah, guys, let's get to it. Here is our gappers list. Let's start with Tesla since I already had it on here. We'll look at that. I'm gonna remove some of these levels, although they seem pretty good. But we know what, we have our highs and lows in here, so we'll remove these and we'll do some fresh ones. Again, just Tesla continues to surprise people. Anyone that still think this thing is going to drop and has a short bias is hurting right now because there's no turning around in this thing. Every time you think you're going to get a pullback, you think, oh, this is getting toppy. Now it's the time it's going to drop down, especially for swing traders that are hard headed. You can see here it gets toppy here at 500. Oh, this stock shouldn't be at 500, should be at 4 something or less. Look what happens this morning. You're gapping up again, not gapping up, but you're squeezing up again after a nice gap up 2 days ago. So this thing is just unstoppable. Some really good volume, good pre-market activity for Tesla. Definitely one to watch this morning. Looks like that $800 mark looks very, very much of a target that's going to get pretty soon. Let's go over next our gappers list. Norm, besides just the overall technicals and just overall news, anything more specific on Tesla that we're seeing this morning or over the weekend?
I haven't seen any specific news. I know. I mean, they have some battery deal in China, and then some battery news. That's really all I've seen, and I haven't dug into it deep enough to see if that's what's going to make that's what's giving it this move. But that's the only thing I've seen.
Gotcha. Excellent. All right, so let's head over to our first one on our list here, INSM. This one is up 43% this morning. Has a great gap right now. Pre-market activity is not looking all that great. It's got some volume, 323,000 shares traded, up 43%, but the volume here in the pre-market activity is not looking great. Norm, is this a buyout? Or what's going on with this one this morning?
No, this is positive results on a non-cystic fibrosis medicine. So
Okay. All right, so definitely worth keeping on here. Hopefully, it can get better. Right now, pre-market activity is not looking all that great, guys. This price action is looking a little bit choppy, but it's got a nice little pop here, so we'll keep it on here. We'll see how that develops as we get closer to that 9:15 time frame. Let's look at PCG, what that is up to. Let's remove some levels here. So PCG, again, has been pretty strong over the last couple of days, really bouncing off this $3, $4 mark. It was looking toppy last week in this area, had a very strong resistance where the previous day close is at right now, which is your low of your pre-market. Has broken out of that nicely. Doesn't have the best pre-market activity, but you do have some volume here, 615,000 shares. I think it's worth watching, guys. Again, PCG's been coming back a bit here, getting over some of these gaps, kind of covering these gaps that I had gap downs that I had before. So we do have some room to run here. Again, we're putting in a nice little move. So worth watching. I'm not sure if we'll make our final list, but definitely one that's very active this morning. Just got to put in a better pre-market activity. It's got some volume. It's got a nice pop, 7%. We just need some really good pre-market activity on here. Norm, any specific news on PCG?
they just continue with their bankruptcy reorganization plans.
Okay.
They're gonna mix up their board a little bit, so that's the news that's going on there. Just looks like they're gonna come out of this, and actually, a while back it looked like they weren't going to survive this whole
Mm-hmm.
problem, and as the days go by, more and more, it looks like they're going to come out of it.
Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of people backing them too. I think the government wanted to back them up as well to
Yeah.
not go bankrupt. I mean, do you have another choice when it comes to an electricity company, energy company that's got their infrastructure? I mean, what else are you going to do? There's no other company that can step up and do much about that, right? So they're not going anywhere, it looks like, anytime soon. AIMT this morning. This one, it is up 5.7 this morning up 18%, excuse me, 18%, 480,000 shares traded right now. So it's got quite a bit of a volume, nice gap up here. We have traded this one in the past before, guys. This is a stock that we have traded. It has gapped up and actually traded very well in the intraday. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. It's got a great active pre-market activity at the moment. ATR on this, what's the ATR? So we're looking at $2 ATR for a stock that's $36. You want to be cautious with that. Short flow interest 26, 55 million shares flow, definitely worth watching. So we'll keep that one on our list. Looking very active this morning. GILD.
They
Go ahead. Yeah.
had big news on they had big news on Friday. This one, as I'm sure, especially anybody with kids knows, we used to eat peanut butter all the time, and you can't take it like anywhere near a daycare or school or anything anymore
Oh yeah.
because so many people have peanut allergies that they've gone the way of cigarettes on airplanes too. They won't serve them in flight,
Mm-hmm.
scared they're going to kill somebody. So this AIMT actually has the first of its kind peanut allergy medicine
Oh.
that got FDA approval on Friday.
Oh, nice. That could be interesting. So definitely worth keeping an eye on that one. Popping up pretty nice right now, 17%. Definitely worth watching. Yeah, peanut is something that's crazy because you cannot even, in some kids, you can even open it next to them just by them smelling it. it can cause
Yeah.
a reaction. So it's really really serious stuff. GILD, guys, here, this one, it is 3.1 million shares traded so
Oh,
far. This is, I don't know if you got something to say about this one. This one is up
yep.
4.7, but as you can see here, this was high as $77, coming back down to 66. So Norm, give us a story on this one.
I think everybody that has a portfolio of stocks that they have long-term stuff in has one dog that they just hate, and Gilead is my dog. I have held this for several years in a long-term investment account. They actually this is a large drug manufacturer. This is not like one of the small pump and dump
Pharmaceuticals,
kind of
yeah, yep.
micro cap pharmaceutical companies. They developed a hepatitis C drug a few years ago that was supposed to be a blockbuster. Fortunately for the patients, unfortunately for the shareholders such as myself, the drug was so good that it wasn't a repetitive treatment. It cured the thing. So that all went by the wayside. Their stock has dropped. People didn't need the drug anymore after a certain period of time, so it didn't make nearly as much money as they anticipated. All that having been said, they've been acquiring companies. They sit on a large pile of cash. This stock has done nothing. It's just been accumulating essentially a 4% dividend yield and buying itself back in my account. So my position's actually grown in it over the last few years. Well, it's done that, and I've been waiting for it to do something. And they have a drug in their pipeline. They develop primarily antiviral medications. And one of the drugs that they have that I believe was either originally developed for Ebola or AIDS or something of that matter. Um, Apparently, they treated a U.S. patient with the coronavirus, and it appears to have cured them. And I believe I've heard rumors of a second patient in China that this has happened to. And they're running trials now with the Chinese government, expedited trials to see if this drug can actually cure patients with the coronavirus. If
Wow.
that happens, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's gonna be good to see also. So definitely want to keep an eye out throughout the coming days here. Actually, you can tell the volume, there's a lot going on here. 3.1
Yeah.
million shares traded, up 4.2. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one this morning. So thank you, Norm, for that. All right, Tesla is up next. We have that on our list already. Let's look at Roku. All right, Roku's on here. We haven't looked at Roku in some time. Hasn't really been doing much the last couple of days. As you can see here, just kind of chopping around a bit here. It is on a somewhat of a downtrend. But again, intraday wise, has not done pretty much anything in regards to anything looking good or pretty active or gapping up or down. So this morning they are gapping up slightly, 2.8 this morning, 179,000 shares traded. Pre-market activities not looking all that best. We've definitely seen better from Roku. But what I do like about it on the daily, they're bouncing off an area where they have bounced before from. You also have a moving average creeping in here around 120. But this is a major support, guys. If you look at the previous day close line right here, this stock has, every time it has come down here, has found support and bounced back nicely. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Definitely worth seeing if Roku is going to be back in play. BYND.
Beyond the meat.
There we go. So this one here today, guys, is does have a great pre-market activity. This pre-market activity is not good. We've seen better from BYND. Their daily chart also is getting really choppy. It looks like we're getting pretty toppy here at 125. We're not able to break that in the last couple of days. We definitely weren't able to get above 135 neither. Just kind of holding off this previous day close. So you also have a main support here, which we've been holding, right? Kind of dipped below it a little bit, but kind of consolidated, had a nice little squeeze right back down towards this area, bouncing again. And now we are at this 110 one more time. So worth watching, guys. I don't think it doesn't have the best pre-market activity as we've seen in the past. In the past, we've seen BYND kind of have a beautiful pre-market activity with a lot of volume, hit some kind of resistance in the pre-market, sell down, and then really blast off, right? We've seen that from BYND. So we'll keep an eye on it. Yep, go ahead.
Carlos, before we move from beyond the meat,
Yes.
I'd like to run a quick informal poll on it since Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday. Everybody knows that, you go to parties and there's all kinds of food and everything.
Oh, man, I
Chicken
see where you're
wings
going.
are there's something like 1.2 billion chicken wings consumed yesterday, estimated. Did anybody go to a Super Bowl party yesterday and see anything made by Beyond the Meat?
I definitely want to see the
Thank.
answers to this. No, no, yep. Oh, we got one yep by Greg.
Oh, we got a
Ooh.
yep. Greg said yes. I don't want to be at your party, man.
Well, I don't think it probably was his. Yeah, there's a lot of
One
no's
person
on
said
here.
yes. Was there fake meat at your party? No. Okay, just that. So we got one yes. I'm going short on it based on that. Just kidding.
I know the YouTube answers have not come in yet. They're becoming a little bit delayed, so we're looking forward to see
Beyond
what that has there as well. All right, folks, let's look at what we have next here. We're looking at LK. Let's see what LK is up to. All right, so LK this morning. So LK, I mean, this stock has been trading well, guys. We have the whole month of January. We had a lot of opportunities on LK, so definitely worth of watching. Right now, 851,000 shares traded. Pre-market activity seems decent. I like the way that we're going from red to green here. Red meaning here's the previous day close line. You know, we were trading below that around 7 o'clock. Now we're above it now here. So again, trading pretty well. We do have a nice range on Friday, guys. I mean, hopefully you guys took advantage of this. On Friday, look at the beautiful drop here in the recovery. So it get traded very, very active. Definitely worth keeping an eye on LK. I think it has a lot of potential this morning. All right, let's look at NVAX.
So
Yep.
just a heads up on that. There was a report that came out last week, an anonymous report on LK being fraudulent and misleading investors.
Oh,
So apparently they came out this morning with a response to that, and that I believe is what a chunk of this popping them up is.
gotcha. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. So that makes sense for this drop here on Friday. I mean, it's just really tanked. You know, it did recover towards the after afternoon hours. It did recover nicely, but man, this thing took a nice hit, going from 36 all the way down to 26.50. Came back. That's a $10. That's a 10-point move there, and came back and recovered almost a little more than 50% of that move. So definitely worth watching, guys. I think LK has been very fun to trade. A lot of good opportunities, a lot of activity on it. Today, right now, we're seeing some good volume on it as well. And I'm not gonna put it on my list NVAX because I just don't like the yeah. So this one here, guys, not the best pre-market activity. Volume is not looking all that great. It is down 5.5% this morning. Look at the daily chart. I don't like this up and down here in this stock. You know, it's just something that doesn't not trading very well. And again, we have seen so many beautiful stocks trading here. You know, Tesla, BYND and LK and some other ones we had last week. That this one is really not one that I want to have on my list. Not even as a possible. Just don't like it's the style of it, the way it trades and things like that. And I definitely do not like this daily chart. So you can keep it on your list if you have been successful with it. Please let me know as well. But I'm not going to have this one on my list. All right, guys. So that is what we have on the gappers. Let's go quickly through our Nasdaq active, see if we find anything good in here. This one, 4.4 million shares traded right now, is up 56%. Just want to check what the float is on this VXRT. 6.7. So this could be the low flow of the day. Oh, but no, I didn't notice the price, guys. $1.32. This is a penny stock, so I'm just gonna avoid this one. GILD, we have CODX always on this list, but look at the daily the last couple of days. I mean, it's just been nasty. It has 1.1 million shares traded. It is down 9.8 this morning. But again, just this daily is getting really, really choppy. I'm just going to avoid that type of stock. LK, we have on our list. Tesla, we have two NASDAQ indicators here. Apple, see what Apple's up to. Apple's pretty active, 610,000 shares traded right now. It is down here quite a bit, 0.5%. But what we see here, we do have a major level here at the previous day close line. So we're kind of slightly below that. The few times we have gone below that, we haven't been able to bounce back. So Apple is active. We definitely should have this one on our list this morning. AIMT we do have. AMD, let's see what AMD is up to. Is active 483, but I'm not seeing much out of AMD. It's similar to Apple, kind of holding on to this area here of support, prior resistance. But the pre-market's not looking all that great on AMD right now. we're going too far down. INSM we do have still with a bad pre-market activity. It's got some volume, but still not the greatest pre-market there. ARTL this morning, it's kind of taken off the last couple of minutes here. We do have some volume coming in. Let's see what the flow is on this one. This could be a good low flow stock if that's what it is. Yeah, 2.17. I won't be watching this one, guys. But for the low flow team, this one looks to be interesting. You do have some volume coming in. Hopefully, you can build a good pre-market activity. Already 237 of 52%. So That could be the low flow of the day. We'll throw this one down here, ARTL. This one we have. Next one, ORGS. This one, no activity, no volume. CTIC, no activity, no volume. We have that one on our list. CAPR, nothing going on. SNDL, nothing going on here. 1M, nothing happening. AVXL, also pretty crappy. ONCS, nothing going on there. Let's look at the last one here, SNDL. We looked at that one already. Maybe this thing is just reshuffling on us a little bit, but also that one's not looking all that good. All right, guys, so that I think ARTL has got some potential. It's just starting to get active, so let's see what it does. We'll come back to it. This could be a good potential for the low flow team here this morning. It already has 245.
We've got a little discrepancy on our list. I've got NNVC on my gappers, and you don't. And a couple of people have been pointing it out.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I don't know.
NNVC.
NNVC.
Yeah. Was this the same one last week as well that did not come up on our gappers list? I know there was one. Yeah, we gotta check what's going on with that. Maybe there's some kind of filter that I have on this one. You know what? I think I know what it is. I think it's because of the American exchange. I think that's what it is. That's what it's got to be. So we'll look into the configuration. For those that do not have trade ideas, we do have a little bit of time here. It is so customizable, guys. You can really do a lot on here. So if you, it's right on here. American Stock Exchange. Here we go. Hit OK to that. I mean, there's a lot you can do on here. So, for example, let's say you're a trader that only likes to trade stocks between $20 and $80. You can do that on all the scanners, right? And there's more. This is just the gappers list. There's a turbo breakdown. There's RSI extreme. There's reversal call outs. You can actually call out an actual strategy. So if you have not checked them out, we will put the link in the announcements. And also, I think I'm kind of getting to the announcement a little bit here, but they're doing a trial starting, I think, this week. No, if I'm not mistaken. It's like an $8 test drive for trade ideas. So definitely check that out. It's a very good, powerful tool.
$8.99 for 2 weeks. It'll be, I'll mention it when I talk about the announcements too.
Excellent. So I'm just going to save this layout, guys, so we have it. Next time we do this, save it as default. Default is the one that's always going to come up when I open up trade ideas. So there we go. All right, so now we got it. That's what's happening, guys. It was sorting out that American exchange, which you can tell here in Dash Trader Pro. If you have an A, that's the American Stock Exchange, N is Nasdaq, and Q is Nasdaq, and N is New York Stock Exchange. All right, so let's take a look at this one. NNVC this morning. What do we have now? This one I know traded well because I've seen you guys traded well last week, so we'll keep an eye on it. I personally do not like this daily chart at all. I seen Andrew trade this very well. Also, he has several great trades last week. It's a little bit more of a riskier stock, guys, so you do have to be careful. This is a 2 million shares flow, so actually this should be the low flow of the day because it's very active. Down 24% this morning, but definitely worth watching. I've seen you guys take some really good trades off this one here. All right, so we'll put it on here. Thank you for that, guys. Make some room over here. And Norm, what do you like besides what we have on our list already?
I'm sticking with the list so far this morning. I am going to keep an eye. Well, I was going to say Roku, but it is on our list. I am going to keep an eye on the semiconductors. They got hit pretty hard last week. Yeah. A lot of them are pretty reliant on China. So NVIDIA probably most of all. Not a whole lot of activity this morning, but
they all at the same chart pattern too. They're all holding on to this the last main level of support that we have here. NVIDIA, you can see that there. You can see MU has the same, right, holding on to the support over here. We just looked at AMD earlier, same situation. And Apple is also somewhat selling down a bit here. So Apple also taking a hit after a nice red day on Friday. So definitely worth watching those.
Uber's another one, Carlos. It's up 1.5% on some pretty decent volume. I won't personally have it on my list or trade it just because I'm currently in a swing with it, but just something to peek at there.
All right, excellent. I'm just going to remove some levels, way too many on here. We'll do some fresh ones for that. All right, guys, what do you guys have this morning that you liked? NNVC, we do have on our list. I just added that, so thank you. Did I put it on here? Yeah, I did. So it's all the way down here because it is a low flow stock. The flow on this one is 2.2 million shares flow, so we want to be very cautious with this one. LK we have on our list. LK has been trading very well, has a great pre-market activity already, going red to green, up 2%. I'm looking forward to that one. Uber, which is added on. Thank you, Norm. ARTL. This one I have it on here again, guys. Just starting to get active. Let's wait a little bit. Let's see if this thing can actually be something we can watch today. NIO. Let's take a look at that one. So NIO is a stock that's been very, very active the last couple of days. We used to trade before in the past quite a bit, if you guys remember. About a year and a half ago or so, this thing used to be a higher price stock and used to be very active. We were able to take some good moves out of this. But lately, since it's been down, to $2, $4, $3, it hasn't really traded all that well. I've seen some good trades out of this stock, but for me, it's very difficult to read the price action with the volume this thing gets. It already has 1.9 million shares traded. And if you look at the level 2 at the open, this thing is just exploding here with numbers. So I like to be able to see the level 2, kind of see an imbalance of power. But that is a little difficult to do with NIO. Not saying that it's not a stock that you can watch. It is very active. You do have some range here. You have a very active pre-market activity. But for me personally, it's a stock that I find very difficult to read. Kind of like a BABA. BABA is the same way, not as far as volume, but it's also another stock that's a little more difficult to trade with the way it actually trades. So I'm not going to watch this one, guys. If we do have time towards the end, we can do some levels for it. We'll come back to it, but I'm not going to put this one on the list at the moment. Roku, we do have on here. Yeah, it could be trading with the SPY. We haven't looked at Roku. It might not make our final list, so I agree with you there. We'll just see how that plays out. Ram 30 is giving us Teva. We haven't looked at Teva in a while. Let's see what these guys are up to this morning. Yeah, they got to be a block trade. This pre-market activity here does not look like they traded 1.5 million shares traded. So there's got to be some kind of block trade on here. Right now, I don't see it really in play. The last couple of days has been very choppy as well. It looks like, just looking at the daily without the technicals of the numbers and things like that, looks like it's possible wants to break out this area of resistance. You do have some room here all the way up to 10.95 in this level here. But overall, this pre-market here looks pretty crappy right now. And again, I think this volume is just really some kind of block trade. Let's take a look at YouTube. What do we have here on this end? CHKP. Okay, CHKP for a short. Yeah, this pre-market activity is not great, guys. This is very choppy. It doesn't have the volume right now. It could have some potential. Also, look at this daily. I mean, this daily here, guys, this does not look good for the type of style that we like to trade, right? You can see how choppy this is. So I will avoid a stock like this. Not saying today they cannot be active. It could be a very great stock to trade, but this will not make my main list here, right? We're going to have our main list up here. If I see something like this trading well in the turbo breakdown, let's say it starts lighting up our turbo breakdown for a possible short, if they have some catalyst behind it, maybe I'll take a look at it. But right now, if you just look at the daily alone, this is not looking like a great daily chart. It's very choppy for the most of the candles that we have here. BYND we have on our list. That one is on here, so thank you for that. I'm trying to see what else we have. Baba. Let's take a look at Baba. All right. Let's see what we got going on here on Baba this morning. Oops. There we go. All right. So Baba this morning, you do have some volume, 211, but it's pretty much flat right now. It is up 1.2. I'm not seeing a whole lot of activity out of it. But again, it's kind of like the semiconductors. You might want to keep an eye on this one as well with all the Chinese news going on. But again, right now, I'm not seeing anything great. We definitely seen better pre-market activity from Baba in the past. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that's inclining me to put it on our main list. All right, guys. Yep. Norm, go ahead.
Nothing. Oh, I was just, well, I will say, I think it was Steven Spencer of S&B Capital this morning tweeted out about this Baba test at 200, how it bounced, and he kind of liked how it was setting up maybe to come back. So
yeah, this could be a good one in a longer term here if it wants to bounce. I'm not sure if he's looking for a possible swing trade, whatever the case may be. But again, it's been taking a hit, guys. It's been a lot of stocks you're gonna see, right? They all have this same pattern here, right? They all just been trading very, very well, very, very strong. And now with this virus, you have this drop here. So how many stocks, are gonna bounce back, after this thing gets clear? Because it will get clear. It's just a matter of time how big this thing is going to get. It looks like we're making some progress. Some of the drugs that are coming out. So you're right. It does have some potential to bounce here. So we'll see. For me personally, guys, Baba is just not a stock that I trade very well. So I'll keep it off my list. But again, it's just one that you can keep on your list as well if you like the way that trades. All right, we'll do two more, CBLI and CBLI. This one, guys, more of a an AATR type of stock and NVC. These stocks have been trading very choppy. Not sure what the flow is on this one, but I definitely do not like the way the daily is setting up now, and the volume is not there. So it's a lower flow stock. So if you want to watch a stock like this one, I think the best one is going to be NNVC. It has the volume. It has proven before they can do a good intraday play at the open. You just got to be very patient. But that one there, CBLI, again, that's a low flow. I don't see a lot of great stuff going on right now, right? Just right now, the way it's setting
No
up.
shares for sure.
Yep, and no share for sure neither on this. One more CLVS, and we'll get to announcements. CLVS, no activity, guys. I don't see a lot going on here in the pre-market, so pretty crappy right now. The dailies seems to be holding this level of the previous day close, but we kind of have a downtrend up against this level here. So if it can break out of here one way or the other, right? If it loses it, you have some room towards the bottom here. If it goes up, you have some moving average here that you can bounce off of. Obviously, if this breaks down this 8 level, that could be a good one to watch today. All right, guys, let's get over to announcements. Then we'll come back and do some support and resistance on this. There we go.
All right, guys. So quick weekly rundown. We do this on Mondays, just kind of outline a lot of the stuff that we have going on in the room. This is by no means everything. Brian usually does his swing trade discussion, 2:30 Eastern in the chat room. I know he's been traveling to see his father. Hope his father's doing all right. So I don't know if he'll be doing that today or not, but if not, hopefully he'll be able to get it in a little bit later this week. And then class 1, you've got tonight, Carlos, 8 p.m. It's our onboarding class, learn about DAS and such. So Brian just confirmed that he will not be doing the swing trading today. Hopefully he'll be able to do it later this week. Tuesday and Thursday, we have trade review with Eamon in the classroom at noon. And then Wednesday, we've got our success webinar for lifetime members. It's usually at 8 p.m., but that time sometimes changes. We will, in just a moment, go through our upcoming success webinars for the month of February as well. All right, guys, we've got our Valentine's Day discount promotion live. Use the promo code LOVE for 40% off single payment lifetime membership. LOVE, L-O-V-E. Also, guys, we put a ton of stuff out for free, and we're happy to do it. We love doing it. All kinds of resources on YouTube and our forums and such. You do not have to be a member of Bear Bull Traders to utilize the forums, and you can sign up for a forum membership. It's free. That way you can post and everything. We can't have open forums just because of spam and everything else, but if you sign up for a forum membership, you can post in there, and they've got all kinds of great information on DAS, Kyle's hotkeys, and everything like that. For members, you will notice in the chat room that one of the tabs has changed. We had a call out tab. As I said, we're going to be working on these and perfecting them. We are focusing more and more on options. We've been talking about them having webinars on them and such. Andrew's been trading them some. So we've changed the call out tab to options. So anything about options trading, you can post in that tab. Upcoming success webinars. This week, we've got Jonathan Katz, psychologist and mental coach. He's going to talk about mental prep and routine. Next week, Mike Bellafiore with SMB Capital. I just mentioned Steven Spencer. This is his partner in crime. He'll be talking to us. I believe that one's at 4 p.m. Eastern with Mike Bellafiore next week. And then a 2-part series with Ed Martin from Average Joe Trader on trend trading. That is the 19th and 26th of February. Andrew is trying to make it to Dubai this month. He doesn't have a date or a place set yet. If you go to the forums, the link that AB will put up, you can see that. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, would like to try it out and see if it's a right fit for you, you can do so with the promo code for a discount with the promo code premarket24. Does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of memberships. I've mentioned Twitter a couple of times this morning. You can follow us. We're pretty active. Andrew is at Bear Bull Traders, and then you've got Carlos M at Carlos M BBT and at Norm BBT. Find us on Twitter. Thanks, guys.
All right, excellent, guys. And for all that Norm just mentioned, you do have links that Abby is posting on YouTube, so you can easily get that stuff from there. All right, guys, let's go through this list. Let's fine tune this.
One more thing I want to that wasn't in there because I didn't have room to fit it. Trade Ideas is having their test drive. They started doing this. It used to be a week. It's great. Now they've got it 2 weeks for $8.99. So you can use Trade Ideas for $8.99. And also, one of the free things that we give to the trading community is our scanner settings. So you can actually go to our site and get our scanner settings and use those in Trade Ideas for 2 weeks at $8.99. Use the link that AB will put up to take advantage of that.
Yep, excellent, guys. All right, folks, so let's get to this list. Let's start over here with Tesla. As we know, guys, Tesla is very active, up as high as 679 this morning. So that's all-time high right now, so we're going to just mark that one down. And I believe after we mark this one on Tesla, I don't think there's anything else we have to do. If we look here on the daily, for the highs and lows from the last two trading days, got you covered as far as support. If it does lose this 620 here, your next area of support will be this moving average right on here around 605 on the daily. And then you do have an area right here on the daily candle, 587, the top of this candle. But overall, guys, I think this stock has been very strong. On a stock like this, where again you don't really have normal levels, you can start doing some pre-market levels. Right here, you obviously see one at 669.74. You can see this nice little run up. If when you do have a great pre-market activity, you could find some pre-market levels. Look at the beautiful run up against that 669. Obviously, you got some rejection here. Finally breaks out and goes up towards the high of the pre-market at the moment. So again, you can definitely mark that 669 on there, see what it does between these two levels. Are we going to bounce and continue making the higher highs here, breaking all-time highs? So again, Tesla just continues to rip higher. This thing has really been incredible. Next, let's look at INSM. This one's still not looking all that great. I mean, we're getting volume. Each of these candles is trading almost 50,000 shares. You can see that right on here, the midpoint. If some of them are even above at 84. But this pre-market activity is just not looking all that great. I'm not seeing a whole lot going on here. It does have some potential. It has a nice gap of 47%. It is not a low flow stock from what I'm seeing. It's a 76 million shares float. ATR is pretty low. Obviously, this morning is pretty high. So definitely worth watching. Let's see if it can get better. But right now, just pre-market is not looking all that exciting. So we have 26.41 up here. We all the way up to this level. We have 35. So we mark that down. And price action is just hanging out right in the middle here. Again, this might not be one that makes our list. Just because the pre-market is just not looking all that great. Here is PCG, guys. So PCG has the potential to continue to break out nicely. It did that. It has been doing that throughout the entire time. It's been bouncing over that $4 low, $3 low. Our high of our pre-market is sitting at 16.38, so we'll mark that down. And then towards the bottom, you do have the highs and lows from the last two trading days and the previous day close right in here. So I don't think you need to add any more as far as support. So let's see what we have above this pre-market high as possible resistance. And I really like what I see on the daily chart. Look how clean this daily chart is here on PCG. Here was not as clean, very choppy in this area. But then here you have some really nice range on your daily chart, which helps us find some really clean and precise level. So obviously that's 1638. You can see how that high of the pre-market has been resistance for this stock plenty of times in several occasions. Pretty, not quite, but pretty close to it. You can see that on there at least 1, 2, 3, 4 times been testing this 1638. So you do want to have that on your list. Slightly above that, you have another area where you have several candles using it as support, 1786. Look at the support being placed here. Once we lose that support, look at the drop down. Here we lost the support, we were able to bounce back. But overall, you have several days using that as support before this thing collapsed and went all the way down to $4 or so. So I think that's a pretty good level to have on PCG. Not a fan of the pre-market action right now. Again, it has volume. But it is very choppy pre-market action with this volume. So we'll see if this can get any better as we get closer to that 9:30 time frame. Here's AIMT. This one this morning, very active, has a great pre-market activity, guys. Nice flow on here. High of our pre-market as high as 39.71. We're losing it now. We do have a level here on the daily at 36.98. Look at the beautiful rejection at this level. We tested at least 3 days on here. We were not able to break that out, and then came back down towards the area of support, which is this previous day close line. Is a very strong area of support. You can see several days testing that as a possible support. I'm gonna mark down the low of the pre-market, although it looks like this thing is heading south and might break below that. 35.10 is the low of the pre-market at the moment. Below that 35.10, we do have an area right here that I like, 33.66. You can see several days using it as support. As resistance and then support. Also here you have several days using it as resistance as well. So that 33.69 worth having on there. Below that, guys, tons of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. This thing is not looking strong at all. If it decides to come back and test the high of the pre-market, which seems a little bit far-fetched right now, the way this thing is selling down, you do have a nice level here going back almost a year or so at 42.02. So we're going to mark that down all the way up there. Look at this 39.69, guys. Look how that is being tested here on the daily as well. It's just a beautiful level. Also going back, this 36.98 also being tested, right? So obviously these levels are carrying over. We're looking at here at 2017, 2018, and these levels are still playing we're still playing a factor in at that time frame. So that's obviously carrying over to today's trading in the last couple of days. So we'll keep that on there. GILD, guys, this one a huge pop all the way up to 77.69. Obviously we're right back down. We're only up 4.7 this morning. So 77.69 high of our pre-market. Right slightly below above the price action, we have 68.10, a possible area of resistance. Look how beautiful this thing has been trading here. Price action right now is sitting right at a level, so I'm going to mark it down. Now this 66.07, if you look at the way the daily chart looks, you can see the support and resistance happening off that level, right? So above that you find the support, below that you find the resistance. Also below this here, you can also see the resistance as well around that 66.05. So definitely worth having that on your list. Right, let's get something between this gap. This is a huge gap. In case we decide to bounce here, these guys obviously have some good positive news here with the virus that's going on. So we have 69.90. And then above here, we have another level at 72. Nicely off the daily. You can see several days bouncing off of that 72, 74, and 69.90. So that's plenty of levels for GILD. Let's look at Roku, see what we have here this morning. So Roku is, again, starting to get pretty active right now. Pre-market activity is not the best, but if Roku can be in play today, we know that it can get the volume. Now, what I like from Roku is that we're testing this area of support in the previous day close. We tested it yesterday. We're kind of getting a little bounce here. Our low of our pre-market slightly above the previous day close at 122, so we can mark that down right on there. Above that, the high of the pre-market sitting at 124.84, so we'll mark that. Then above that, guys, I think all your levels are really set at this point. You do have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days up here. Towards the bottom, you do have a 110 level we had here from before, but you know what? We have more recent information right on here. This is a better level to have. You also have a moving average slightly below the previous day close. I'm going to just move this level up over here. This is more of a relevant level if this thing loses the previous day close, if it decides to go down. Right now it's looking a little strong, trying to break through this high of the pre-market at 124.82. So we'll see how that reacts there. Volume is okay right now, 255, up 3%. We'll keep an eye on Roku, see how that's going. BYND does not have, this is probably one of the worst pre-market activity we've seen for this stock in the last recent days, right? Every time we look at this, it has amazing volume, and the pre-market activity itself has been amazing. This is not so great at the moment. We're stuck between some highs and lows right now. Previous day close towards the bottom, so I think you have plenty of levels in here. I don't think you even need to add the highs and lows of the trading pre-market, because you're very close to some levels already. I think this will be more significant to have this level here opposed to the pre-market high, and obviously your previous day close is a very important level. I think it's more important to have that level opposed to a couple of cents above that, around 110, 110.75. If we're able to break towards the bottom, your next level really is going to be all the way down here with 99.13. I don't think we'll get there. I think this thing looks like it wants to just chop around, and if you're able to break out above the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, next level on the daily, 123. 76, and also another one up here at 127.97 on BYND. Again, not looking all that great. Might not be one that we keep on our final list. Now, okay, guys, making a lot of movement here. 988,000 shares traded so far. Let's mark the high of the pre-market, and then above the high of the pre-market at 33.76. You have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, so don't need to add any more levels in here. Plenty of levels already in there from the last 2 trading days. Below that, the low of the pre-market is sitting at 29.82, so I'm going to mark that down there. This, you can see that 29.82 high. It has been a great level to watch for LK. Look at the resistance here. Comes back down, tests the low of the pre-market. The low of Friday. And then it comes back up, tests that, and then you can see that how he's using that level 29.82 as support before it broke out nicely all the way up to $52 here. So LK definitely worth watching, playing around now, flirting with this previous day close line. We'll see what it does at that point. Here is Apple. I think Apple is very active, guys. 783,000 shares traded, down 1%. Worth having on our list. I'm going to remove some of these levels and just kind of put this one right on here. Low of the pre-market is being tested. Also was tested a couple of days ago here as well as support. So if we lose that, that could be a nice little run for us towards the short side. 300 and actually around $300. That's a good area of support, prior resistance over these last couple of days here. If we lose that, the next main level we have is going to be this 293.37. Also resistance, broke out of that, creates a new level of resistance, but then uses that 293 as support before it breaks out, right? We see this play out very, very often. Towards the top, guys, I think you have plenty of levels you can mark down. You have this day here and this day here have a good support area, 312.16. So you can mark that down. You can see how several days are using that as support and resistance. Not a major level, it's kind of a minor level because it's between some of this choppiness. Again, we want to consider a main level where you have an area where you come up, you bounce off that level and have a nice nice rejection or support, very clean change in direction. All right, guys, let's look at Uber as our last one on this list here. Again, Uber has potential, guys. Been chopping around over the last 9 or 10 days, looks like. And it does have some potential here. The volume is not great just yet, 175. Pre-market starting to build up. But we've seen this before from Uber plenty of times where the pre-market doesn't look great. Volume is not all that exciting, but it puts in a really good day. So highs and lows of the last 2 trading days are kind of surrounding the pre-market highs at the moment. Above the pre-market high, we do have this 37.56 level here. And then the most recent highs of this last consolidation range here is going to be 37.92. So 2 good target areas that we can get to. We might definitely going to find some resistance at that 37.92. Towards the bottom, plenty of support. The previous day close, highs and lows last 2 trading days. And then we have a moving average right here around 35.15. So I'm going to mark that down as well in case we do decide to drop and lose that previous day close. All right, guys, that is what we have so far. Let's look at NNVC. I know this is one that's been very active, 908,000 shares traded. This is up 23%. I'm sorry, excuse me, down 23%. And right now, you do have your highs and lows. This thing has been so choppy on the daily that your highs and lows are actually creating a good support and resistance, right? So you got your highs here, your low here from the last trading day, the high from Thursday, the low from Thursday, creating support and resistance as well. And I think really the only thing you need to mark down if this thing decides to drop is that 780 level right on here. So again, I don't think you need to mark anything else on here. So right now, pre-market activity looks very interesting. You have a nice little drop. You're kind of bouncing back a bit and holding against this 13 level of resistance. That was the high from Thursday. If this thing can break out of this, can become a beautiful pop towards that previous day close or the high from Thursday as well. So we'll keep an eye on this one. All right, guys, that is what we have. I'm going to fine-tune my list. Plenty of stock on here, but I'm going to fine-tune my list to just 6. So I'm going to keep Tesla. INSM, I'm going to move down to a possible. Right now, pre-market activity is just too choppy. PCG's got some potential, guys. Again, not a fan of it, but I do think it has some potential if it can get above the 1638 and squeeze up. So we'll keep an eye on that one. AIMT, I think, has a great pre-market activity. It has a nice flow to it as well, holding this 35.10 level very well, the low of the pre-market. So I like the way that's moving. GILD has great activity, guys. 3.6 million shares traded, so I'll watch that one as well. Roku's got some potentials, so I'll definitely keep an eye on Roku. BYND this morning, I'm not liking it as much as I did in the several past days, so I'm going to remove BYND, bring it down as possible. LK I do like. LK has given us some really good opportunities, so we'll watch LK. Apple is a good possible as well with the other semiconductors. We got Apple. We also have MU, AMD. All these guys are good possibles also. And Uber is going to have to be a good possible for me as well. So I'm going to take off Apple. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So that is our list, guys. Tesla, PCG, AIMT, GILD, Roku, and LK are our main watch list. Our secondary list, BYND, INSM, Apple, and Uber on here. And the low flow of the day is NNVC. ARTL is actually getting very active as well. We didn't do levels for this one, but this is starting to get some serious volume here. Now look at the daily on this. Be very cautious, very risky stock. I believe the float on this is 15. just take a look at it. Actually, never mind. No, it's 2.7, 2.1, excuse me, 2.1. So be very cautious with this one. We do have a spike here at 307. You can see the area of support and resistance in these couple of days. Above the price action is right now sitting right at that level of resistance on the daily. So 350, we'll mark that down. And then here, it's just nastiness here, guys. There's nothing clean about this daily. At least here you have some kind of direction and levels you can go off. Here, there's really nothing you can really do. It's just not clean. At this point, you want to start looking at the whole dollar numbers of 360, 380, you know, $4. Those are very important price targets when it comes to this type of stock trading this low flow. So, but again, very active. I think these two are great if you're trading low flows today. Definitely keep an eye on these this morning. All right, guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much, guys, on YouTube for joining us as we start this brand new month of trading, February, first day of trading. So keep it green, guys. Keep it safe. Be cautious in your trading. Take care, and we will see you tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. See you tomorrow morning.